Hey, what's going on, everybody? Invisible Boilon here, and today we're here to talk about Marquees. Now, as you guys, I'm actually recording this really late at night, but as you all know, that we're about to get the release of Bekelu, the final member of the Haradrim. We had Tebeb last week, and that's ending, and we're going to be getting the last character of the Haradrim. But I want to talk about both the Haradrim and Marquees writ large because, are they worth it? Are Marquees worth it? Does it depend on which characters we're talking about? I mean, the main issue here, obviously, is that star ranks mean a lot. And so for free-to-play players, we're all just walking away with a 3-star while, the stats for them are not really that good compared to characters that we can either farm better or farm faster or just in general can farm, which is most of the characters except for the characters that have been released as Marquee. So we're going to talk about that and more in today's video. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. Now, here is my roster. So I have been working on Haradrim, that's no secret. I've mentioned this before, mentioned it in my Discord, that kind of thing. That is something that I am working on. However, I am a little bit concerned, especially with Tebeb and Bekelu, that their stats really just aren't going to hold a candle to my other characters who are farmable. I have a 6-star Wubete, which is great. His stats are very good. The 6th star, especially, really stellar. And I'm actually looking at getting him to level 60 pretty soon. So once I get, I think, Bekelu to like 40, 45, I'm going to put the rest of the XP and gold into getting him to level 60. And the reason for this is that, obviously, the star ranks scale very well with levels, flat levels. More so than gear, because gear is just additive, whereas with the star ranks, it scales on your base levels and base stats. So this is where I'm going to get the most bang for my buck. This is honestly worth about 3 gear tiers right here. On Wubete because he's 6-star. Now, once he gets to 7-star, it's going to be even more insane, which hopefully won't be too long, but obviously I'm still only 10% of the way at the moment. I'm still grinding that out on the guild store. Now, Robel and Yeftu's almost 5-star. Robel's about halfway to 5-star. Yeftu's in the login calendar, so that should come a little bit quicker. And if you look at the stats that that Wubete had, obviously they don't have anywhere near as much because their star levels are lower. And even if I were to take them to level 60, like you can see about 16,000. What was Wubete's like going to be about 26,000. So you can see how like the star levels make a significant difference. They said flat out as well that star ranks were the biggest power indicator shift in this game more than gear tiers. So, my characters are at gear tier 6. Yeftu, Robel, and Wubete. Tebeb's at gear tier 4. he does need to go up to like gear tier 6 at least, but his stats are just 5k hit points. Like, I could take him to level 60, but he's only gonna get 8,000 hit points, and then the gear tiers might give him to 10k. And so that's pretty crazy, like how much the star ranks are valued. And so even though I'm leveling this team, I know that Tebeb is gonna get absolutely crushed, just because he's not going to live very long, and all the other enemies are going to target her. Sorry, is he? I don't even know, actually. Is it her? Sorry, most of the Haradrim are actually female. Bekelu, Robel, it's 3-2, okay. But anyways, so they're going to get absolutely crushed because the AI targets pretty much the weakest member of the team. And it's probably going to be Tebeb. It could be Bekelu, honestly. They're both going to be up for grabs for who's going to get attacked. And because they're at 3-star, the range of their stats is going to be pretty much half of what I would expect on Wubete and Robel and Yeftu. It's going to be half of them because I'm able to farm them daily and I'm able to work towards getting higher star ranks. That's not something that I'm going to be able to do with these. And as you can see here, just right next to Tebeb, I have Legolas and Gimli. They're on the bench. There's a couple of reasons why they're on the bench. I don't really need Legolas for... Well, I don't need them because they're 3-star. Let's be real. Their stats are not going to hold a candle to any of my Rivendell elves, or any of my elves, honestly, who are 5-star or above. I'm not really using Arwen much, but Elrond's 5-star, Eladin's 5-star, and Elro here, wherever the hell he is, probably at the bottom because of the way this game is... I hate the filtering system, is at 7-star. 7-star. He's basically maxed, actually. I have his skills... pretty much max, 6. Yep, he is max. This is pretty much as far... I can't go any farther other than adding gear tier. Elro here is my only straight out max character. So yeah, he's really powerful, and there's no way that Legolas is going to do anything for me. Gimli at 3 stars as well. It's mostly the star ranks, to be frank, and so this does cause a big problem, and it causes an existential question about whether or not marquee characters are worth investing in. And this is tough, right? Because some of these represent some of the best meta characters that exist in the game right now. Arwen is a good character, but I have her at 3 star. I use her in the raids, and that's the reason why she's level 50 gear tier 5. I'm not really putting in too much more investment, though, just because the stats don't even stack. Look at that, 7,800, 7,700 hit points. It just doesn't stack up to my other characters. I could probably get, like, Naramiri, who's at 5 star. Honestly, will probably have better stats if I were to level her up wherever she is, and better than Arwen. And that's just, it's sad. And so you really want to focus on characters that A, you can farm, but B, that you can, well, I mean, yeah, you can get the star ranks up, right? It's just super important. Once you get to 5 star, 6 star, and 7, 5 star especially, but then 6 and 7 is just out of this world insane. I recently got a 6 star for Aylmer, and his stats, I mean, okay, he's not level 60, but if I were to take him to 60, we'd be looking at the similar numbers that Wubete is kind of showing off. I think he has a little bit more hit points, and his damage stat is higher than Wubete. But yeah, like these numbers are just insane on the star ranks. I can't stress this enough. So here's the question, and I'm going to bring up one of my charts. It's my LotR farm sheet. It's not super, I don't have a lot of stuff in here, but it shows the data that we've been collecting, I guess, with regards to releases. Okay, so I'll zoom in a little bit for you. So we have a total of 8 characters, new characters that have come to the game. We have Arwen, Elladan, Elrond, Legolas, Gimli, Gandalf the Grey, Tibeb, and Bakelu. And of course, we started with Arwen on the 1st of June, which was approximately about 2 months and a week from now-ish, maybe about 70 days or so. Actually, do I have it over here? How long day? It's been 70 days. Yeah, there we go. It's 70 days. I do have that calculated. And they were made available in the supplies on July the 6th. So that was approximately 5 weeks later. And Elladan is also in the supplies now, which was on July the 26th. And so 70 days. Now, I don't think I expect her to be farmable quite yet, but, or I don't know, am I, like, should I expect this? For those of you who are, playing from Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, please let me know what your expectations are. I know it's been posted before and people have said, I thought it was 90 days or something, like what Star Wars Galaxy Heroes is now. Maybe it's 4 months, I'm not sure. But regardless, like, I guess we won't really know until Arwen is made available, and that gives us the data points that we can expect for the other characters. But I feel that they've been intentionally vague. They've not really given us any information. I mean, this is among other issues in the game, of course. But it's hard to really invest. Like I can't even invest in the Fellowship of the Ring because A, we're not getting Gandalf. Let's be real. We're not getting Gandalf until like maybe December. Maybe by then, Legolas and Gimli will be farmable. And so there might be some value there. Also, who are the 4th and 5th members of the team? Like, I'm pretty sure, honestly, it's supposed to be Frodo and Strider or Aragorn. Maybe they haven't been given the tag yet, or they're going to be bringing out new characters. But the thing is, it's kind of weird because we've kind of moved on to the Haradrim, and either this team is not finished, or they haven't added the tags to the characters that they're going to give it to, which frustrates me. We also have this disparity here of their release methods. We've had like 6 marquee events, and Gandalf, I guess, is a raid kind of released, if you call it that. I mean, it's just, we're not going to get any shards for him. He's a pseudo-legendary, basically, at this point. Gandalf is a 5-star unlock, so I would dub that as either a legendary or a pseudo-legendary, because the bar to unlock Gandalf is, in my opinion, almost higher than Elrond, who maybe will have a second pass at some point as well. And so that's it, right? Maybe we're going to get, say, the Nazgul here. Like, there's 5 Nazgul, by the way. So, I mean, if that's the case, it's going to be a lot of shadow releases and potentially a lot of marquee events coming in as well, which is not all, we can't just have marquee after marquee after marquee. I don't know. If that's the way the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes done it, then maybe I'm playing the wrong game, and that's highly possible too. And I actually, it's funny because from playing Marvel Strike Force, I use Galaxy of Heroes as a potential model of farmability. Marvel Strike Force has a huge issue when it comes to farmable characters, that they are not made available, permanently available, till like 8 months plus. And I'm not even lying. Like most characters go anywhere from 6 to 8 months or more before they're made available, permanently available. And so I really don't want Lord of the Rings to go down that way, and I hope that we're closer to about 3 months would be great. But the biggest problem, of course, is their viability right now. And it's low. I'll be honest. If it wasn't for the Haradrim that I have these other characters available that I could farm 3 out of 5, I wouldn't be putting any investment into these characters. It's just that they're going to be so weak, they're going to get crushed well before the rest of my other team. And so the team gets a bit disjointed, for lack of other words that I could have found. And I don't know how good they're going to perform when one of them just really can't stand up to a lot of things. Like, maybe I could have done a D3 in the Mines of Moria, but because Tebeb and Bekelu are going to be so low in the gear tiers, or sorry, low in the star ranks, that they're just not going to be able to survive, and I'd be forced to have to, go down to D2, for example. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a concern I have. Obviously, going forward, if you don't spend, to me, that suggests that, Marquees might not be worth investing into. Haradrim is a specific instance because they're not only are they going to be important to Guild Chapter 2, which they've basically said flat out that's the case, which is another reason why I'm building them. But, they are a shadow team that, at least for me anyways, that I've been stacking up shadow crystals and I need a shadow team to invest in. But in the future, for example, if they plan on releasing the Nazgul as Marquee for Marquees and a legendary event, I am not going to be investing in this team because I'm not going to be investing in basically 4 characters at 3-star when, I have the availability of other potential characters that I can farm their star ranks for. Because maybe they shot themselves in the foot a little bit, because when they did those star rank changes, that's all that mattered really at this point. So either, and I'd love to hear the thoughts from people who do spend in this game. I think and we've discussed this on the Lord of the Rings Discord, that I think it creates 2 tiers of players, basically people who are willing to not spend, people who don't spend on them, and people who go all in. And when I mean all in, I mean like they're going for 6 and 7 star, because it seems like going for 4 star or for 5 star doesn't really make that much of a difference in terms of the overall stats, because 6 and 7 is just so monstrous that that's where the biggest difference is going to be made. So light spending in a lot of ways actually does nothing for your character these days. Maybe if they're a legendary release, but honestly, we don't even know that yet either. We don't know. There's rumors, of course, that Haradrim might be a potential unlock for the Nazgul, for the Witch King, maybe going forward. And I guess there is time, I suppose, because, you do have 33 days, I suppose, to decide if you want to buy Tebeb still, and frankly Gimli's still in here, which is surprising that they last for a very long time, 33 days. I imagine there's going to be some future announcement about the Witch King or the Nazgul potentially, if they are going to be involved in that. I guess I can go back and buy it later or decide if I want to, or whatever the case is. But anyways, it just, it doesn't seem like 3 star is just really a tough pill to swallow now because of the star rank changes. But that's just my thoughts. That's just some Thursday morning ramblings, or late night Thursday. It's like 2 in the morning. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here, but let me know in the comments down below your thoughts, both on Marquee events, how the star ranks scale, and what your expectations are going forward. And of course, when you might think Arwen is far. I might make a pot. When do you think Arwen is going to become available? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave your guesses. That's the end of the video. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.